And I need to be careful, or I may step on that particular spot. And that's like temptations. If we understood how close they were and how dangerous they are and how deep the fall is, we wouldn't be falling into temptation quite so often. We'd have our guard up. But because we're careless, and what are we careless about? Our lives? No, nothing so unimportant as our lives. We're careless about our souls. Because the temptations, which end up being sinful, even if you don't think they're sinful, they take your heart away from God. That makes you an adulterer, remember? A spiritual adulterer, a spiritual harlot. Well, that's sinful. And it'll destroy your soul, the only thing that you really have that has any value. God's not awed by your dollars or your houses or your women. God thinks only your soul has value. And of course, His thinking is infallible. So I want you to think about these verses. And I know that we sell our souls cheaply and all that, but I want you to think about the plainness of life in this respect. Let me read you a verse from Ecclesiastes 5, verse 15. As he came from his mother's womb, naked shall he return, to go as he came. And he shall take nothing from his labor which he may carry away in his hand. Naked you came, naked you'll go. Any exceptions? Let's see if there's any exceptions. Oops, looks like there's no exceptions. Everybody comes with nothing. Everybody leaves with nothing. As I told my friend George Gillespie, it really is, when you die, you are getting on that big steamer that's going down the Mississippi, and when you hit New Orleans, everybody gets off empty-handed. Nobody brought a change of clothes. Nobody has any money clinking in their pockets. And nobody has to phone their broker. That's all past. You're just in the real world then, and money's no good. It's only here that it's any good. We're like children going to the museum where they hand out those funny little coins that you can spend on gifts at the museum, or at the state fair when you buy tokens. That's what your treasures are like tokens at the state fair, where you might buy a Kewpie doll or two. But you aren't going to buy anything in the real world. When you leave the state fairgrounds and go over to, I don't know, whatever taverns are near there. What's that? There's a bar and grill just south of the entrance at our Illinois State Fairgrounds. Whatever that bar and grill is, Grandstand maybe it's called, I don't know. No, that's on the east side. At any rate, you can't spend those tokens. You can only buy the Kewpie dolls, and those tokens are only good inside the fairgrounds, actually in the amusement park area. When you get to the real world and you whip out one of those tokens or a bag full of those tokens, they'll laugh at you. That won't buy you a beer and a broad. You're on your own. You have to have real money, and in heaven, and likewise in hell, there's no need for money. There's a different currency. And so the currency that you have here, you need to treasure it for what it is. Good for the Kewpie dolls. Don't put any more stock in it, because it won't do you any good once you leave this earth. Naked you came, naked you'll go. I say that because I want you to listen to this verse in Matthew 13:22. Now he who receives seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. Deceitfulness of riches. I've sure given in to them. The thorns, you bet. Think about it. Money lies to you. Fame lies to you. It doesn't have any lasting capacity. Jesus himself, explaining it, said the cares of this world choke out the word. They choke it out, make it unfruitful, overwhelm it. If you've ever had a bad case of the crabgrass, you know what he's talking about. It chokes out the good grass. Well, if riches do that, the deceitfulness of riches, if that's the word being sown among thorns, and the cares of this world are like thorns, they cut you and scratch you, they don't do you any good. If that's true, why aren't we wise enough to listen to him? Is he not God? He is God. Is it possible that he's fallible in his teaching? No, it's impossible. Is it possible that he's unwise? It's impossible. So if you listen to that, and then you go out today and give your heart to worldly things, what am I to think of you besides you're an ignoramus? No, not an ignoramus. I explained to you, you can't be ignorant any longer. You're a fool. The Bible talks about people who are ignorant and don't know better. Now you know better, and if you go out and follow a different path, then you've proven yourself to be a fool. And it always says that in regards to people and their eternal condition, the condition of their soul. If I do it, I'm a bigger fool. I'm the one teaching it to you. That's why I'm trying to learn it, because I can't stand it when I have these symptoms. I can't stand the fact that I know these things and don't live it. I want better for you, and I want better for me. Let's think about it. You know, one of the questions I asked myself when I was trying to do this little book on earthly mindedness is, have I become a servant to my servant? Now, I want you to think about that. Have I become a servant to my servant? Have you? In other words, you have a job or a career or a business in this world. Why did God give it to you? In the first place, you have to remember that God gave it to you. It's called a vocation, a calling. God gives it to you, but why? Well, to help you to get through this world, isn't that right? To provide for your needs. That's how He provides for your needs, is through your calling. To give you a roof over your head, a shirt on your back, all of those things. But your money and your job and your career are meant to be your servants. Not your masters. Servants. You're the master. See, is it possible? Sometimes in business, I've fallen into that trap of being a servant to my servant, where my servant became very important. My money, my pile of whatever it is, fame. Listen, as I said to you over and over, if you want the admiration of a bunch of dying men, if that's what you live for, man, you are really dull. Dying men won't be true to you in this world. They certainly can't help you in the next world. And yet that's what we live for? No. If you were going to be sold on cash, which won't go into the next world, then have you given all of your time and all of your energy to something that was meant to serve you and get you through this world and do nothing more? You're a servant to your servant. Does that make any sense? No. And if you only get respect because you have a fat wallet, then they don't respect you, they respect your wallet. If there's a guy with an IQ of 35 with a fat wallet, they'll respect him too. So it isn't about you, is it? It's always about that almighty dollar, as if it really has some value. Please, let's get off of that track. Let me finish with this. This is Mark 8:36, I think. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? And then you turn around and say to me, in spite of this, well, Bill, what I'd really like to do is to gain the whole world. I'm not too worried about my soul. I mean, you are a moron if you say that to me. I'm a moron if I live it knowing better. If you're a Christian, this is what you're supposed to be asking people. You're not supposed to be modeling a behavior that proves that you're as big a fool as they are. Let's snap out of it. The sun is shining ahead. Let's come to our senses. Let's follow Christ. And let's forsake this world. Thanks. Let me point out a couple of other things that are wrong with making earthly riches your goal. One is that you can do your utmost. You can be diligent and still not achieve it. And what I mean is this. You can have a project going and have everything lined out. You're going to build 96 condos and then the financing falls through. Or one time I was opening what would probably have been a very wonderful business, and a guy came in an hour before we were going to sign the loan papers and had cancer of the tongue. He was dead within 2 weeks. So that business went down the tubes. You could be like my beloved wife who opened Rainbird Systems or something with Rose Haas. 5 years before anybody had ever heard of these kind of systems in Springfield, Illinois, She couldn't make a go of it, and she can make a go of almost anything. Her timing was bad. Her diligence was good. Her timing was bad. It's not worth it, folks. You can give everything to it and still come up empty-handed. What kind of a thing is that? I don't want you to have that. And here's the other problem. This is a little ditty by Samuel Stennett, an old Puritan. But of these shadowy joys elude their most intense pursuit, or if they seize the financial good, there's poison in the fruit. That last part I'm really concerned about. Even if you get it, if you seize the financial good and you win, there's poison in the fruit because it becomes too important to you. The fruit which was meant to feed you becomes your treasure. Now, I'm going to close with this. Matthew 6, verse 33, I think. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these other things shall be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Chasing worldly things, you may do your best, you may be diligent, and you may still be found wanting at the end. If you chase heavenly things, God will not allow you to be wanting in the end. God will guide you, direct you, stand you up, shove you out the door. If you seek first the kingdom of God, He's promised to add all these other things that you think you need so badly, and that I think I need so badly, to me. It's a promise from God who can't lie. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things will be added. If you need to have a business that works, He'll make sure it does. If you need a different position in the company, He'll make sure you get it. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. His righteousness is a fabulous thing. A wholly different subject, but seek ye first that. Okay? And all these things will be added unto you. Don't be tricked by worldly things. Please give them up as your best things. He's your best thing. He's your treasure. There's none like Him. Do not be tricked into settling for something that's temporal and worldly and beneath you. You have a soul. Act like you do. Okay? Please tune in again next week. Give us another chance to bludgeon you to death over this issue of earthly mindedness, because I need the lesson myself.
Hey, Lord, I got a mother and gone on. Got a mother and gone on. It makes me feel like my time ain't feel like my time ain't long. Well, the bell keep a tolling, tolling. The bell keep a tolling, tolling. Make me feel like my time ain't long. Yeah, no, the bell keep a tolling, child. The bell keep a tolling. It makes me feel like my time ain't long. Well, I got a father gone on. I got a father gone on. Makes me feel like my time ain't long. Father and gone on. Father and gone on. Make me feel like my time had long. Ooh, hearse keeper rolling, rolling. The hearse keeper rolling, rolling, and that make me feel like my time ain't long. Lordy, Lord, well, the hearse keeper rolling, rolling, the hearse keeper rolling, keep me feel like my time, hey, no.